up, guys?
All right, guys. Big weekend here in Chestnut Hill this weekend. Senior Day, Red Bandana game, which is such a big game here for us. A lot of different activities, players being honored, guys like Pete Mitchell. Big weekend in Chestnut Hill, big football weekend, which is exciting. We came off last week's game. I thought we made some improvements in some critical areas. A bunch of players got a chance to contribute in that game. I thought Dennis Grissell played his best game to date, threw 2 touchdown passes, over 50 yards, contributing to where we are explosive-wise in the pass game. I mean, we're 8 passes of over 50 yards, which is putting us 6th in the country. So along with a powerful run game, we have an explosive throw game because, people are selling out to the run. So I think those were positives. We beat a rival, and we improved. And I thought it was a great bounce back from the week before. We had to recapture momentum, which we had coming off of NC State, and I thought we had to go on the road and play a rival and play a real physical brand of football after a long travel. I thought we accomplished that and did quite well with that. So we'll take that into this week. We need a great week of practice. Playing Florida State, talented team. Watching them on tape yesterday and today. Got playmakers on offense, and certainly got really talented guys on defense. Big physical front, all over 315, 20 pounds. Tremendous in the back end. Great tailback. 3 great receivers. So a very talented team, and be a real challenging game for us. But we're home, and we're excited about it, and we're looking forward to it, and I think we can carry some momentum into it, and looking forward to continue to coach the team and improve in those areas. And another great challenge for us. Our kids are jacked up. Obviously, playing with a lot of physicality, playing with a lot of confidence, which is super positive. So, with that, happy to answer any of your questions.
We haven't generally gone over injuries throughout the season.
Right.
Can you walk us through kind of, with so many of them right now, but can you walk us through where everybody stands at this point?
I mean, I really can't walk you through it. I can just tell you that, to the best of my knowledge from yesterday, I mean, obviously I was here and met with everybody. Thought everybody's improving, and I think you get a clearer picture at the end of the week where we are. I'm pretty optimistic. This time of year, you get dinged up this time of year, it's just nature of football. I think Isaiah McDuffie dressed for the game last week. He's full steam ahead in practice this week, which is terrific. We'll evaluate that at the end of the week. But, it's kind of an ongoing deal right now. I don't have any updates. I told you about Christian Garrison Saturday. With these other guys, I mean, banged up from the game, but it's about appropriate for that kind of game. So we'll see if that has any residual, longer-lasting effects. Like I said, I'll know more by the end of the week, but I'm hopeful that we'll be in good shape.
Still optimistic about Addazio for this week?
I mean, he's another classic example. I mean, he did a lot last week, so I'm hopeful that by the end of the week, he'll be in good shape. I don't know that, but all I can judge is by what I saw last week. And if he makes, it's hard for me to judge how much progress a guy makes in a week. But if he makes the same amount of progress this week that he made last week, I would suspect that he'd be in good shape. But that's unknown, And what happens is we still got a whole there's a week. A lot happens in those 5-6 days. We bring it right up to game time. Tell you the truth, he's a veteran player. I mean, if he can get cleared, then we roll.
Hunter and Maddie, because you had already made a switch with Maddie and Connor, and I was going to ask what went into that, but where they stand.
I mean, it's all. We need them all. I mean, it was evident in Saturday. You need them all, and we'll need them all again, and hopefully we'll have them all. Who knows? We'll go with what we have, with the hand we have. Get as much out as we can get out. I think some guys are day to day. Some guys are more a couple days probably. I'm speculating right now, and I don't like to do that. I couldn't give you a really good answer right now. I just would be too premature for me. It's not like anybody's called out of the game right now. So I mean, I can't see what happens.
What made you went down? What went into the decision for Connor?
I mean, we've been trying to get Connor in the game. We really like the way he'd been practicing. He's a terrific young talent. He's got a combination of length, size, speed, really good accelerator, really good tackler. We loved him in preseason camp, but he dinged his leg up in camp, missed when a freshman comes into camp and they miss a couple weeks, it really gets hard on you because they get behind, and then it's hard to get him back in that rotation again. So it took a while to get him feeling good and getting back in that rotation, and so love what we saw on tape. Really has a lot of promise, really an exciting player. I made real plays in the last couple weeks.
And then you already were down under, you were already down Addazio and Harrison. Hunter goes down, then you go with Miranda.
Yeah.
Luchetti.
Yeah, Luchetti. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, Luchetti started out with us as a tight end.
I keep saying Luchetti, my fault.
Yeah, that's right. Luchetti started as a tight end. Really talented tight end. I mean, we didn't like him. We loved him. We moved him over to defense because we felt like we, wanted to get more of a pool of guys on the defensive end. But his natural position's a tight end, and he's excited to be playing tight end right now. 265-pound guy, very athletic, great hands, really good blocker. And Isaiah Miranda got a chance to make some real plays for us. He did a great job, playing with, we got Dennis playing at quarterback. He was a walk-on. Isaiah is a walk-on. And Strader is a walk-on. I would say all three made some really great contributions to the games over the last couple of weeks. Really proud of those guys, and did a great job. So it's fun to watch. We're getting a lot of guys that are, to me, are guys that are developed in our program, and they're making good plays. So we need them all. You need them all. You got 3 weeks, three games left in the regular season, and there's a lot of football left to play, and you need them all down the home stretch, man, especially the physical style of football we play, and we've got some real physical games ahead of us. So,
what kind of wrinkle does it add to your planning when you playing a team that's just fired its coach?
I'm just kind of in that mindset of just coach the team, paying attention to any of that stuff. It doesn't mean anything to me. We're going to roll through practice this week and roll in Saturday morning, and they're going to roll in, and two teams are going to square off, and just don't waste any energy on it, to be honest with you. I'm so focused right now, and I just walked out of game planning with the offense and run game, and that's I try to just really stay laser focused on the things that I hope that I can help have an impact on, and don't worry about the things that I have no effect on. It is what it is.
It's probably, you wouldn't expect them to implement a whole new offense or anything like that, but it can have an emotional reaction to the team that can go either way, I guess, with those guys.
Yeah, sure. Who knows? That's why I don't waste any time thinking about it, because, and I understand why you guys might, but I just don't have the time, and it's just speculation. Not worried about it. I got to work off of what I see on the film, and expect the very, very best Florida State team. We seem to, I think when people play us, I think they have a great deal of respect for our program, and I think they try to be at their very, very best, realizing that they're going to line up against a real physical, tough football team, and they have to be prepared. So I would assume that that's what will happen, and everybody's a professional in this business. Got a job to do, you go do your job.
The Florida State defense, I know they usually get a lot of guys that are very raw, very fast, great measurables.
Yeah.
How do you attack that some as the whole parts? Is there something that sticks out on film and you say, all right, in their scheme this might work, or is it just you have to attack and figure out where a hole might be in the game?
I think we're trying to figure out where we feel we can attack that defense, like we would do any week. I would tell you that, quite frankly, this is the biggest, most physical front we've played. And I thought, we played a couple good ones, right? But this is the biggest and most physical front that we've played, beyond a doubt. They're big. They're big. These are big defensive linemen, big backers. In the back end, they got a couple safety. They got a corner and safety that are lights out. Not shocking. They're having, they've had top recruiting classes. They've got talent. Like the running back is a big-time NFL prospect. The three receivers are NFL players. It's not shocking. No, they've got talent. And you got to watch out. Only takes one guy to drop back and throw that ball deep to a guy pull it down, and you can make a play it real easy like that. You saw, it happens. So I'm back and hit a home run from anywhere on the field, anywhere. He's outstanding. So they got talent, and the defense is darn good.
Saturday being the red bandana game too. I know the last few years you had the relationship with the Crowther family when they
Yes.
come in and got to meet them. Just being able to have the game. We never really ask you when it comes around, but what does that mean to you to still be able to be a part of it and in the wake of, I know Walt's father passed away this year?
It's a really special game. It represents the very, very best in what, Boston College is all about and what college football is all about. We're honoring a guy, Wells Crowther, who was a student here, and you know the whole story. And his sacrifice for others was the ultimate sacrifice. And being a Northeast guy, most of the guys on our team being Northeast guys, a lot from the New Jersey, New York area, they're still not too young that they don't know exactly what happened and what went down. And so they can really certainly, as well as anybody can appreciate what this game is really all about and why we're honoring, who we're honoring, and what he represented. So it's really one of the most special things to be a part of. It's an emotional deal. Every year we spend time with the new players that come in and really educate them and watch the ESPN features, and it's a very compelling, gripping story. And of course, when we played in New York a couple of years ago, we brought them to the World Trade Center and visited the site. So it's real. It's significant. We're honored to be able to honor Wells. And it's a big deal in our program. So it's an emotional deal. And it's also the seniors' last home game this week, which is a very, for almost every football player, there's a fair amount of emotion when you play your last home game for your university or for your high school. It's just a signal of how fast time goes by, great times and experiences you had, and really just a reflection of, wow, this is coming to a close. So there's a lot of emotions there alone. And then you add the red bandana into it. It's quite a deal. So, it's a big week. It's a big week.
Just talk about having your running game kind of heating up with 3 cold weather games coming up. This is when you hit at smash mouth football is.
Yeah, it could be a good thing. Yeah, when it gets cold out there, it's harder and harder to take on those big backs and those big linemen. It's just the way it is. I think people who throw the ball a lot, like to be inside or like to be down south where it's a little warmer. But we're used to this, so it doesn't really impact us. And probably take a little bit of pride in it. You're a Northeasterner. You grew up playing football in this weather. The late fall. It's crisp and cool, and you can see your breath, and it's kind of a, to me, it's like the way football was meant to be played. I grew up like that. So I have that perspective on it. Now, not everybody, not everybody did, right? But it's the very, very best. I just love college football in the fall, especially the late fall. So it's fun. It's exciting, and these seniors will have their last trip down the walk from Mass, which is really a unbelievable deal, and you kind of take it all in, and whatever foliage is left at this point, and see the stadium off in the distance walking down. It's pretty significant memories for guys. So, yeah, be cool.
What was the difference last week compared to maybe some other weeks? When you mentioned this a lot, where sometimes sort of first downs, it's hard to stick with what you want to do offensively. But you turn the ball over a couple times early,
Yeah.
and you still stick with what you got. You know, what was the difference between that week and maybe some others?
I think our defense really stepped up last week and made some key plays and some stops, and I think that speaks a lot to momentum. We didn't the momentum of those turnovers didn't swamp us. They scored off of one of them, obviously, but I just think a sense of confidence, a real determination. I thought that was big. That we had to overcome that. That was another important thing to be able to do. Football's a fine line, but we were able to make the plays we had to make to really get the thing going and really respond. I thought obviously AJ and David had a great game. Our offensive line played incredible, and I thought Dennis Grissel played really great. And he managed all that real well. So every week's a new week, and we've got to grow and do a great job on defense this week, and we've got to on offense we've got to find a way to control the football. But we don't want to be a one-dimensional team now. I mean, it worked out that way in our last two wins. We just really overpowered the last two teams in the run game. But that was up until that point of the season. We have been very explosive in other ways, and we were last week explosive in the play-action game. But we want to stay explosive that way. But if we're able to run it like that, then we're going to run it like that. But we don't anticipate that that's always going to be the case week to week, and we certainly don't anticipate this week that'll be the case. We feel like we're going to have to be much more balanced.
And I've heard at least some people call this offensive line, if not one of the best we've had. I don't know how you rank them or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's just the quality of the line this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're outstanding, and I'd like to think that more years than not, we're going to have a really good offensive line here. I think that's something that BC has traditionally been, and I think we want to be a physical, tough, big team, and I think this offensive line's excellent. I do, and the best part is, we're going to be good for a while. I mean, this isn't going anywhere. We're going to have a really good offensive line as we move forward. I think we got some really good players, and they've been developed, and I think anxious to get on the field. So, I'm excited about that, and I think we've got a really talented young defensive line. So I really still believe it all starts up front, both sides of the ball. And so I think that we have the right people in the right places there.
How much of it, when you see either one of them, Bailey or Dylan, rip off 50 or 70 yard, like untouched run, how much of that is just the work up front, where there's like double teams?
It's a lot of it.
Holes, or just those guys hitting them and then getting them?
I mean, it's a combination of both, but I mean, there's a lot of big holes. I mean, the guys up front are getting blocked, and then it really comes down to sometimes the add-on safeties and their ability to make those tackles consistently in the hole. They're going to make some, but that's hard. I mean, you're 185, 195 pounds, 200 pounds, and you got a guy with momentum coming at you at 250 pounds. I mean, how many of those hits can you deliver? That's what happens. And, works both ways, but I mean, that's why we want to have a big offensive line and big backs, to have the ability to have that wear and tear in the run game. But you got to, it takes a while to get that to really start wearing. And then when you overcommit, we want to cross-check their eyes with really good play action, which is critically important when they start loading these boxes. We want to make them defend the whole field, vertically and horizontally. I mean, that's really the starting point. And if we get fortunate enough to get it rolling, and then we're going to feed it. But we want to make them defend the whole field, and we have the tools to do that.
Take two more guys. In terms of Dennis, it would have been easy to say all right, just manage games, yada yada. And the first couple times out, he didn't have a lot of opportunities to make plays. Last week, the play action passes he had, not that he had two wide open receivers, but he didn't overthrow them, didn't underthrow them. They were pretty good throws. They were really good throws. How much do you think he's kind of navigating, not overdoing it in the role, but also just making the right plays at the right time?
He's an unselfish guy. He's a hard-working guy. I mean, one of those throws he made he got crushed. And he hung in there and threw a great ball, and he took a pounding on that play. It tells you something. You know, he had a really good run. He's really strong in the short yardage deals. He threw some great third down passes as well, critical third down conversions. I think, you know, obviously what we're hoping for is we're going to see continued maturation, continued experience, and he's going to continue to grow and develop his game. That's the hope, and I think we've seen that. You know, you've seen that in different pieces. I thought you saw a bigger chunk of that last week, and I think he can only grow from that. So we're excited about that, you know, and hopefully that'll continue to grow, and we keep growing as a whole football team, defense, offense, everything. That's the name of the game, you know. You got to be getting better. You're not going to stay the same. If you are, you're getting worse. So we want to continue to grow and develop and get better and improve.
You mentioned, I know Dennis was a walk-on. You mentioned a couple of other guys. How big of a role do the walk-ons play? I mean, I know not all of them get to work up to playing on a Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love guys that, you know, come in and they work really hard and they earn their roles. I just love that piece of it. You know, you can't, you're thrilled to death for guys. And that'll always be a big part of our program, to be able to get a couple guys that can, I mean, just process that for 1 minute. I mean, to come to BC, you got to get into school. Then you got to get the finances right, because no one's paying for you, right? So I mean, that's whatever that is, 70-something grand a year. And you got to handle the workload as a student, and then you're coming into football because you love the game. The only reason you're there because you really have a deep love for the game. So it's really the best part of collegiate football, right? I love it, and really super happy, and I love to see these guys make impacts. These guys we talked about, they've been in the program for quite some time. They've really paid their dues. They've been low maintenance guys, whatever they can do to help the team. And so it's very rewarding to watch them have some success right now. It's exciting. Yeah.
Steve, thank you.
All right, guys, thanks.